It is a good life we lead, brother.
The best. May it never change.
And may it never change us.
Assassin's Creed 2 is arguably the most important Assassin's Creed game, and possibly the most important game that Ubisoft ever made. It put the name Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft in the alpha male category of gaming, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. It definitely has some flaws that I will talk about later on, but I'm just so shocked that this game really holds up 15 years later. It's literally as majestic as a game as you can get. It's like the Margot Robbie of gaming, but again it does have some issues, which Margot Robbie does not. But there's so much good to talk about, like the amazing story, amazing characters, and unique missions, and there's some bad that we have to talk about as well, like that horrible ending that still makes me mad to this day. But let's just get into it.
My name is Desmond Miles. I'm a prisoner of war. A war I never knew existed, waged by two groups I never thought were real. Templars and Assassins, using me to search for something. Call it the Apple. It's an artifact, one of many so-called pieces of Eden. Templars collect them. It's how they stay in power. And if the Templars get their hands on another one, everything will change.
So Lucy shows Desmond a trailer of the birth of Ezio, and Ezio 4 seconds after his birth is already doing QuickTime events. This man is already unstoppable, and Lucy and Desmond meet the gang. Now I'm gonna talk about the modern day story later on, but this was a pretty good introduction to everyone. Rebecca is the overly excited computer nerd, and Sean is basically a soccer commentator who accidentally got wrapped up in all of this. But there's not much to do here. Everyone's just kinda waiting for you to figure out how to get into the Animus. But when you do enter the Animus, you finally see him, Ezio Auditore da Firenze. This is the man your grandma is fucking in her dreams, and probably my grandma too, and for good reason. Ezio, unlike a lot of other characters in the franchise, he comes out explosive. He not only has the look of an Italian boss, but he's got that slick hair, cool scars, sexy accent, and he actually has a personality.
Buonasera, Vienna. We were just talking about you. I'm surprised to see you here. I thought the Pazzi hired others to do their dirty work.
It's your family that cries for guards when there's trouble, Gottardo. Afraid to handle things yourself?
Your sister seemed quite satisfied with the handling I gave her earlier.
Uccidetelo!
That joke probably wouldn't fly in the 21st century, but that Perfieri deserved it, and an all-out brawl happens. This is how you start an Assassin's Creed game. No over-the-top scary cutscene, no MCU humor, just great character work, and two Italians fighting on whose father has the better pizza restaurant. And then after a while, Ezio's brother shows up, and he's like, hey, whenever you knock someone out, make sure to steal their money so they really feel the humiliation. That's the Italian way, and this is when the looting starts. It's not as bad as the looting in 2020, but Ezio does make some really quick money. So again, an amazing way to introduce a mechanic into the game, even if it's as simple as going to a body and pressing one button. Now I'm not saying Ubisoft for all of their games has to do something like this, but it worked for Assassin's Creed 2 because it's only the second game of the franchise, and Ubisoft had a lot more creativity when it comes to introducing a mechanic. In the later games, most people just know what to do, and you can't just copy the same segment of a video game onto all the future titles just because it's really good. But again, the weighty tone and Ezio having a personality just shines so bright in the intro. Every time you play as him is totally different than Altair. Altair was very predictable in his dialogue choices and even his overall choices, while Ezio has that sprinkle on top of everything he says.
You've made quite a mess of yourself, young man.
It's nothing, really.
You must help him. That pretty face is his only asset.
Fottiti.
We really should head home. Let's go.
Wait.
What? Ezio, let Christina sleep.
There will be time enough for that. Later. Christina!
Who's there?
Me!
Oh, Ezio. I should have known.
May I come in?
Fine, but only for a minute.
A minute is all I need.
Indeed.
Well, wait, that came out wrong.
This man has so much riz, even Pete Davidson had to study him, and then you start to get into the meat of this game. You meet Ezio's dad, and I really love his intro as well.
Good morning, Father.
Come with me.
Is something wrong?
Do you think me blind and deaf, son? I know all about your fight with Vieri di Pazzi last night, and then this little visit to Christina. Your behavior is unacceptable. It reminds me of myself when I was your age.
Ezio's mom makes you do chores for Leonardo da Vinci, and this man doesn't even give you an autograph, like you know he's gone full Hollywood. And Ezio's little brother, he tells you to get some feathers, and Ezio's sister, she gets cheated on, and she turns to the dark side of the Force.
What of him?
I think he's been unfaithful.
Who told you this?
The other girls. I thought they were my friends.
Harpies. You're better off without them.
I loved him.
No, Claudia. You only thought you did.
He should suffer for what he's done.
Wait here. I'll go have a word with him.
But a truly great introduction to everyone. The innocent little brother, the mom being a mom, sister having her own life going on, and Ezio's dad, showing that there's some business he got going on. He has meetings with these weirdos, and he tells Ezio to do some errands with the thieves, prostitutes, and other weirdos. But it's just so good, and the reason why it's so good is that it shows you there's a game happening that you don't know about. It shows that these characters aren't just there for Ezio, and just happen to be a part of Ezio's story. They feel like they have their own life going on, and have their own intentions. This is why Assassin's Creed 2's intro is still one of the best in the entire franchise. It doesn't need a giant explosion to happen. All it needs to show you the world doesn't revolve around Ezio, at least not for now. My personal favorite Assassin's Creed introduction will always be Assassin's Creed Unity's. Unity's had the romantic tone with a stealth approach, and everything escalated from there. But if you look at both intros from a bird's eye view, Assassin's Creed 2's intro holds the momentum for the rest of the game, while Assassin's Creed Unity's intro has a bigger downfall than the Canadian economy, because Assassin's Creed Unity's intro completely falls after the title screen, while Assassin's Creed 2's intro builds off of it. And speaking of what happened in the intro, a lot does happen. Ezio's dad is in jail. He tells Ezio, "Go my son, go and find my assassin robes in my study, and do not check my porn magazine collection, and if you can, please bring those to me." And Ezio finds the assassin robes, and now the game really starts. The assassin robes make you feel like Batman. No one can stop you, no one can beat you, and no one will harm your family. So let's see who they're executing today.
Giovanni Auditore, you and your accomplices stand accused of the crime of treason. Have you any evidence to counter this charge?
Yes, the documents that were delivered to you last night.
I'm afraid I know nothing of these documents.
He's lying! Need to get closer.
In the absence of any compelling evidence to the contrary, I am bound to pronounce you guilty. You and your collaborators are hereby sentenced to death.
You are the traitor, Roberto, and one of them. You may take our lives this day, but we will have yours in return, I swear! We will! Father!
Turns out we got bamboozled. Not the best way to start your morning. Man, this scene was just so perfect. It was so eerie. I mean, they literally killed the little brother, and it was honestly disturbing. I don't know about you, but whenever I replay Assassin's Creed 2, whenever I play the intro and talk to our little brother, it honestly gives me goosebumps because he had a smile the entire time. So it really got you. Ubisoft is honestly a bit dark for killing the little brother. Like it's something straight out of a horror movie. And then you have the father literally screaming his innocence. And as much as you feel bad for him, he did fumble the bag. He got outplayed. He lost the chess game. So even though it wasn't deserved, it made total sense. And Ezio gets the hell out of there, meets a fine ass honey, and she teaches you how to blend, how to reduce notoriety, and just the starting tips on how to be an assassin. This makes sense because later on, we find out that she herself is an assassin. But overall, the notoriety system in Assassin's Creed 2, it was really cool. Nothing out of the ordinary, but me personally, whenever I play an Assassin's Creed game that has the notoriety system, I always have OCD, and I honestly don't even want it at 10%. I always make sure it's at 0%, and there's some pretty bad OCD, I can't lie. I don't really even know why either. I think it's because when I first played Assassin's Creed 2 when I was a kid, I constantly got my ass beat by the guards, so it's pretty major PTSD mixed with OCD. I'm basically an emo. But we leave the city and we see the goat himself.
I grow tired of this game. Finish him, and do not spare the women. What sorcery is this?
Not sorcery, boy. Skill.
Show yourself.
As you wish. It's a me, Mario.
Uncle Mario?
Uncle Mario isn't your typical uncle. He's that cool uncle that jumps on turtles and fights for a princess and buys you a beer when you're underage. And he tells you, yeah, Ezio, your father was an assassin, which sounds very familiar.
I knew your father. Bully for you. He died at Versailles. In what? 76? 77? December, as I recall, no witnesses.
How did you...
Your father was an assassin, Arno. He gave his life, fighting for the liberty of all mankind. You stick with me, you might just live long enough to join the Brotherhood. Honor your father's memory.
Again, Assassin's Creed Unity came out after, but let's not pretend that Ubisoft doesn't use the same themes and stories in their games. Feels like half of the Assassin's Creed games are just revenge plots, but Assassin's Creed 2 is very forgivable because it's the first to have a revenge plot. But Mario shows you Monteriggioni and it's a crapshoot. No one wants to come here. It's complete ass. It's dirty. It's like the India of Italy. But there is some stuff here. Mario tells you how to fix the economy, and my god, I absolutely love this system. This system can make you the richest person in the world after just a few sequences. I wish real life was this easy. This is literally a GTA 5 infinite money glitch you won't believe. Hashtag crazy. And it is. I honestly think that in order for me to make this game harder on myself whenever I replay it in the future, I'm not gonna use the economy system. It's just way too easy. But Mario and the boys need to destroy some Templar business, and Ezio gets some character development.
Is this what my father discovered? Is this why he was killed?
I'm sorry. Were you hoping for a confession?
Pezzo di merda! Vorrei solo che avessi sofferto di più! Hai avuto la fine che meritavi! Spero che
Enough, Ezio! Show some respect.
Respect? After all that's happened, do you think he would have shown either of us such kindness?
You are not Fieri. Do not become him. Che la morte ti dia le pace che cercavi. Requiesca in pace.
Ezio actually took that advice to heart. Every time he kills someone after, he literally says the same thing.
Requiescat in pace. 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 Requiescat in pace.
And Mario shows you Altair's armor, and it turns out that Altair wasn't just a politician, but he was a fashion icon. He was the Kanye West of his time. And Mario shows you his drip. Now these assassin tombs are really fun. They're parkour puzzles mixed with some of the best stealth in the entire game, and it's really cool. You can get the sparkly treasure at the end, and it's a good help. The only criticism I have for it is that Ezio just somehow knows where they are. Like, no explanation. Ezio can't find where the Templars are, but turns into Doctor Strange when it comes to looking fresh. Gotta respect that grind. And the armor is truly magnificent. There's nothing that I would really change about this outfit. It's probably my favorite outfit in the entire franchise. But yeah, in order to get them, you have to go through those tombs. And La Volpe, an assassin who looks a little funny, leads you to a tomb. And in one of these tombs, you see a secret Templar meeting. They're all like, Francesco, the assassin killed your son. And thank God, because your son was a complete dweeb. And Francesco pretends he's not hurt, as his son is getting roasted harder than the chickens in my backyard. But we see him take out his anger against the Medicis.
Your day is done, Lorenzo. Your entire family dies by my sword.
Like, this guy is a maniac. But then we see some of the coolest, and I truly mean the coolest, ending to a character in the entire franchise.
Popolo e libertà!
Libertà!
Francesco?
This is brutal, and I love it. Ezio is playing 0 games because he won the chess game with Francesco, and his little puppet ran away. This is just so good. Seeing Francesco's hanging body is just so satisfying. After watching your family's bodies hang, the Templars are getting consequences, and Francesco's death is a symbol. In most games, you don't really get a satisfying moment like this until the end of the game. But in most games, the assassins just kill the bad guys and move on to the next mission. But here, Francesco's humiliation shows what Ezio is doing is working, and a payback is coming. Now this does go against one thing though, and that one thing is that Ezio completely forgot about what Mario told him. You know, the whole respect the dead thing or whatever? But this isn't really that respectful. Hanging Francesco after stripping him butt booty naked, that's not really showing respect, unless Francesco had a humiliation kink like I do. I personally would love to go out like Francesco. It's on the kinky timing like me. But I think Ezio doing this does make sense, especially since you can't really expect Ezio to take Mario's advice right when Mario says it. Ezio is still basically a kid, so it's one of those lessons that are slowly grandfathered in there, rather than Ezio just flipping a switch after what Mario told him. But you take down other members, they're all fun, but they don't really add much to the story until the tailing mission, and I'm sure everyone knows how fun tailing missions are.
Sprelling missions, you know, the very worst part of every game where you have to follow some dude as he walks as slowly as the physics of the engine will allow him to.
Now, tailing missions in Assassin's Creed 2 are not very common. There aren't too many, but there's also nothing unique about them. They're all just kind of there. They have their flaws, and it's nothing really in your way. The main flaw with Assassin's Creed 2's tailing missions is that you don't really fail because you can't see them. You fail because your camera can't see them. Ezio can see them just fine, but if you spin your camera angle non-stop, you might fail the mission. But again, it's not like Assassin's Creed 4, where 40 to 50% of the missions are just tailing missions. There's only a small handful in Assassin's Creed 2. I mean, there's a reason why I haven't talked about them in this video until now. But after we finish the tailing mission, we get one of the coolest cutscenes in all of gaming.
I can fix this. Only spare me.
No. What a mess. So sorry to have claimed your prize, assassin. Did you honestly think I wouldn't expect you to follow? That I didn't plan for it? We've been at this a lot longer than you. Kill him.
I know you're only doing as you're told. So if you release me, I will spare your lives. Ha! Listen to... Ah! No!
Such a cool cutscene. Again, that's something that Altair's lame ass would never do, but Ezio was an underrated Sigma, and he gets away with it, and then you see Leo again. This mission was so cool that they brought back variations of it in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That's something that I love about AC2. There are definitely missions in the start of the game that play out the same, but when it comes to most of AC2, they don't want it feeling repetitive. If you think it's repetitive, then I totally understand you, but you have to admit, Ubisoft tried their hardest to make missions feel unique and creative. Now that's not saying you had freedom. In AC2, you don't have much freedom on how you complete your goal, but the game does add creativity for you, and that's what makes it so good. But afterwards, Ezio finds a damsel in distress, the absolute baddie of Caterina Forza, and he uses all the game he can, and he gets the ticket to Venice, and Leo tells us that she's low-key pretty scary.
Be careful, Ezio. Do you know who that was?
My next conquest.
I don't think so, Ezio. That's Caterina Sforza, daughter of the Duca di Milano. Her husband is...
Husband?
See, her husband is the Lord of Forli. That woman is as powerful and dangerous as she is young and beautiful.
Sempre come una donna per me.
Now we get to the best part of the whole game. Venice. Venice is like the G-spot of Italy. Everything in here is much more cooler than everything out there. Without Venice, who actually needs Italy? It's just so beautiful. Venice is easily in my top 3 cities in AC games, possibly top 1, and that's saying a lot. But the people here, they ain't perfect. I mean, the guards are like, hey, you can't sell fish here. This place is vegan, and they beat the crap out of the fish to stop animal cruelty. And then Ezio gets groped by a mysterious lesbian, and the tour continues. And then the mysterious lesbian lady is in a 5-star GTA chase.
Hey, I remember you.
We need to go!
You never did apologize for knocking me over.
Now!
Va bene, where to?
The water!
That doesn't exactly narrow it down.
Her name is Rosa. We meet some of her crew, and she teaches us the ways of the Force, or otherwise known, how to do the climb jump thing that she did. Now this is a good segue to talk about the parkour. The parkour is amazing in AC2. Jump, eject, back eject, everything you want is here. And I honestly don't really know what more to say. The parkour is literally everything you want. There's not really any flaws to it, and you can be creative. The only thing I will say is that they may have prioritized it too much, since there are buildings that are like, yeah, if I was a normal person, or even a woman, I could still probably parkour all around the city. Like, this is the country of parkour. It's really easy, and this jump that Rosa teaches you only makes things easier. If I had to choose a criticism for the parkour, it would definitely go to the animations. They aren't bad, but Assassin's Creed Unity just blows them out of the water. But again, can't really blame the second game of the franchise for that. But afterwards, you kill a few people, and for some reason this cutscene always warms my heart.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. Come, let's open the gate for Antonio.
Set has fallen and Emilio is no more. All thanks to you, Ezio. Go! Tear down Emilio's banners. Return what he has stolen from the people.
I love this cutscene so much. It's the first cutscene where it's like, yeah, progress has been made. And this game isn't the same game when you started, but it's weird how Rosa went from not being able to stand to jumping off the building with no pain. And then we get the most iconic mission in the game, the flying mission. Leonardo was like, Ezio, I love you, but how about you be my test dummy for this project? You might die, but I'll tell people you died on fentanyl and that there's nothing to see here, folks. And Ezio was like, yeah, I needed a way to get into the palace anyways, and they get it going.
Shoot the flying demon!
One of the best and the most unrealistic missions in Assassin's Creed history. And then next up, we get my favorite sequence in the entire game. The carnival is in town, but Ezio knows that there's killing to be done. The reason why I love this sequence is the atmosphere. It's Venice at its finest, and I love it. Not to mention, the cinematic trailer for AC2 was all about this mission. So this was arguably the staple mission of the game. And you literally play games. You play this weird capture the flag game. You literally have to flirt with women to get to the next round, and then you have to fight, especially after the Templars steal your prize, and then you assassinate.
My son.
We all...
No. It's too soon. I'm not ready.
We rarely are. Che la morte non sia crudele. Requiescat in pace.
Now, guns in AC2 are the worst. It's very restrictive, you don't have much freedom with it, and it's kinda just a long-range solution when you are out of options. But again, it's very forgivable. If you only played AC1, you're not gonna complain about having a gun. You're just gonna be excited to have one, like your average American. So there's not much there. But then you get into some really explosive missions after Ezio meets this guy.
Bianca! Bianca!
Is everything alright?
What do you think? Look at this place. And poor Bianca. If something's happened to her... Aha! Oh, my darling. Thank God you're all right. Ezio, meet Bianca. Bianca, Ezio.
Charmed.
But after this mission, there's like a 2-hour DLC, and it's really mid. It's not bad, but it completely stops the momentum of the story. The pacing of AC2 is perfect without these missions, but these missions are fun. It's literally just sword fights after sword fights, blood everywhere, and I really like it. But again, story-wise, these missions are just a buzzkill. Katarina is the only good thing about these missions.
See, a certain apple indeed. Or shall I slice your baby's necks ear to ear?
Bastardi! You think you can threaten me? I'll give you nothing! You want my children? Take them! I have the instrument to make more!
The story just completely stops, which is crazy because before these missions, we get arguably the most intense scene and mission in the entire game, and that's when Ezio meets Rodrigo. After a long tailing mission and an identity swap mission, afterwards Ezio finds out that all these people are also assassins, and Ezio himself becomes an assassin.
I am an assassin, trained in the ancient ways to safeguard mankind's evolution. Just like you, and each one of us here.
You are all assassins? Paola. Volpe.
It's true, Nipote. We have all been guiding you for years, teaching you the skills you would need to join our ranks. I think it's time.
And for some reason, right when we get to the apex of the story, the pacing not only gets destroyed by all the codex pages, but also these DLC missions. But Ezio gets the apple back, and then we get one of my favorite speeches in all of gaming.
No one deserves to die in such pain.
It's you. I knew this day would come. Please, show mercy.
I have. Ma ora, che sia il tuo Dio a giudicarti. Requiescat in pace.
Silenzio! 22 years ago, I stood where I stand now and watched my loved ones die, betrayed by those I had called friends. Vengeance clouded my mind. would have consumed me, were it not for the wisdom of a few strangers, who taught me to look past my instincts. They never preached answers, but guided me to learn from myself. We don't need anyone to tell us what to do. Not Savonarola, not the Medici. We are free to follow our own path. There are those who will take that freedom from us. Too many of you gladly give it. But it is our ability to choose whatever you think is true that makes us human. There is no book or teacher to give you the answers, to show you the path. Choose your own way. Do not follow me or anyone else.
This speech made me the man I am today, so that might be a bad thing actually, but finally, you are in the final mission. This mission is amazing, just everything you learned coming full circle, and I love it. And we get Rodrigo's ass.
I thought I was beyond this. But I'm not. I've waited too long. Lost too much. Requiescat in pace, you bastard.
I don't think so.
Turns out Rodrigo had Thanos' gauntlet, and we are screwed, but Ezio has the apple, so it's like Thanos versus Superman, until they man up and go toe to toe.
It's over, Rodrigo. No more tricks. No more ancient artifacts. No more weapons. Let us see what you are made of, old man.
All right then, if that's how you want to play it.
And they fight, and turns out Rodrigo just wanted to open the vault and find God. I mean, he could have just asked Ezio for a Bible, but world domination sounds cooler. And then we get the scene that pisses me off the most.
You can't! You can't! It's my destiny! Mine! I am the prophet!
You never were.
Get it over with, then.
No. Killing you won't bring my family back. I'm done. Nulla è reale. Tutto è lecito. Requiescat in pace.
I mean, yeah, Ezio, killing him will not bring your family back, but he's still a criminal who is gonna hurt many others. But I'll talk about how dumb this decision was in my Assassin's Creed Brotherhood review, but it's just really dumb. Absolute blue balls. I hated it. I know others liked it, and I can see why. It showed great development, but still, I didn't like it. And then Ezio finds God and Desmond.
I do not wish to speak with you, but through you. You are the prophet. You've played your part. It is done. The message is delivered. We are gone now from this world. All of us. We can do no more. The rest is up to you, Desmond.
What? Who is Desmond? I don't understand. Please, wait. I have so many questions.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Desmond, the modern day. The modern day story is literally that. It's forgettable, but it's definitely not bad at all. It's not as good as Assassin's Creed 3's modern day, when you really enjoy the missions, and it's not as bad as AC4's modern day, where you just want to blow your head off when you play it, but it's also not forgettable as Assassin's Creed Unity's modern day. So in a weird way, it's decent. It's B tier. Not great, not bad, but also not just there. And I don't think anything about it is truly bad, but it's just not a highlight at all. And I mean that in a bad way and a good way. But one thing I will say, I'm not a fan of modern day in general, general when it comes to Assassin's Creed games, so the fact that I'm saying I actually don't mind it is a huge plus. It means most will like it, and I did really like the ending of it.
Mr. Miles, this is an unexpectedly pleasant turn of events. And here I thought I'd have to waste more men on you. Kind of you to save me the trouble.
What do you want, Vidic?
For you to come home. We miss you terribly. There's still so much work for us to do together.
It's not happening, Warren.
You continue to disappoint in every conceivable way, Miss Stillman. I saved your life once, do you remember? And this is how you repay me?
You saved me so you could keep experimenting on people, destroying their lives. And for what?
This tired argument again. As I recall, you were there, at my side, every step of the way. Their blood is on your hands just as much as mine.
You need to stop him.
I'm on it. Uh-oh, Doc. Looks like it's just you and me now.
Enjoy your victory, Mr. Miles. Temporary as it is.
Desmond, we have to go!
There you are! Come on! Help Lucy into the van! Hurry, Desmond, we need to go!
You'll have your turn, Desmond. Warren's gonna get what he deserves. I promise.
But yeah, that's it for AC2. It's one of, if not my favorite Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed is my second favorite gaming franchise overall, so that's saying a lot. And you can get this game alone for like $6, like that's a steal. So if you want to take a trip down memory lane, I urge you to do so. But that's it for this video. Like, subscribe, and peace.